Everyone, welcome to the show. I have updates to share about Donald Trump's legal issues and then something that the media glossed over because they've been so focused on Trump's blatantly fake story about NATO. So, first of all, Trump has officially filed an appeal with the Supreme Court. He's asking them to place his coup case on hold. And for the love of God, can everyone stop calling it the January 6th case? The Washington Post published this article I'm showing you right now. It pisses me off. It completely undermines and downplays the seriousness and the scope of this case. And it feeds into the right-wing media narrative that the special counsel is just trying to prevent Trump from exercising his First Amendment rights, his free speech. This case is not about his speech. It's about his actions. I think the Washington Post editors are doing a disservice to the country. This is lazy. This is uninformed. And anyway, back to the appeal. So he's arguing that he has some mystical, magical immunity because he was once president, as you all know. But even if SCOTUS disagrees with that argument, Trump has a backup argument. He's trying to claim, this prosecution is just too much of a burden for me while I'm running for president. Ridiculously absurd arguments from a very wealthy person who has nothing better to do. But the special counsel has to now file a response. I would imagine they already have that ready to go. And then the Supreme Court will decide if they even want to review this matter or if they're just going to accept the lower court's ruling. Refusing to take it up, allowing the lower court's ruling to stand, that would be the best outcome. It would allow the case to go to trial quickly. So let's all hope that's what they do. But next up is related news, and it was published by Talking Points Memo. The news outlet has reviewed different documents, correspondence from attorney Kenneth Chesebro. They say that Trump's team was planning to delay the electoral vote count for several weeks. They were planning and hoped that they could drag this issue out past the inauguration date, which is specified in the Constitution. And what they wanted to do was have Republican lawmakers feign confusion over, which set of elector documents are legitimate? Which ones are we supposed to sign? I just don't know. I'm so confused. So then it would kick the matter over to the Supreme Court, where they were hoping that Trump's appointed majority would hand him the presidency. So Talking Points Memo says Chesebro laid this out in 3 potential plans. So Chesebro suggested that Vice President Mike Pence basically just refused to open Biden's votes, just refused to count them. He also said that maybe Senator Chuck Grassley could fill in for the vice president, and then he could send a test case to the Supreme Court to try to invalidate the Electoral Count Act. Just get rid of the whole act completely, not just the votes. Or Chesebro posited the idea of having members of the Senate filibuster on January 6th to prevent the counting of the electoral votes. So this is as much about Chesebro's actions as it is about Trump. I mean, Chesebro has made it out like, I was just doing my job as an attorney. I was just giving Trump legal advice. These schemes were not meant to just, here's some advice. These were plans to subvert the Constitution, to subvert the will of the voters. What Chesebro proposed could potentially be considered sedition against the United States. And especially when you consider they had absolutely zero evidence of election fraud. Trump's own investigators that he paid millions and millions of dollars to confirm that fact. So they don't have a leg to stand on, which tells you why he took a plea deal down in Georgia. Next up is news about Trump's next and first criminal trial. A procedural hearing was held today. This was in New York for the hush money to a porn star case that was brought by the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg. So Trump decided that he would attend this hearing in person, which shows you how concerned he is about it. And he should be, because today's hearing was to determine if the trial will be held next month. It's supposed to start March 25th. So we will see what happens with that. And we should also be seeing a ruling in his New York fraud trial any day now. So I will definitely let you know what happens with that. I also wanted to point out, as I mentioned earlier, something that the media glossed over while they were so focused on Trump's latest sir story. You know, all of these, oh, sir, can I this, sir, can... I'm sure you guys have all heard about this ad nauseum. Trump told this totally fake story, so obviously fake, about how a member of NATO asked him, oh, sir, would you still protect our country if we're delinquent in our NATO payments? We all know it's bullshit. We all know no one in NATO is calling him sir, but, you know, his idiot followers eat it up. They lap it up with a serving spoon. They're all clapping and cheering as if it's real. It's so embarrassing for them. Anyway, to me, the funniest part of the story was when Trump said, oh, you have to pay your bills. Really, Trump? The biggest deadbeat in the world. And he's lecturing other people about paying their bills. Okay, so that is really rich, unlike Trump. Anyway, here's what everyone ignored.
Joe Biden and his thugs will do everything in their power to confiscate your guns and annihilate your God-given right to self-defense. You have a right to self-defense. You've always had that right. And during my 4 years, nothing happened, and there was great pressure on me having to do with guns. We did nothing. We didn't yield.
So that video was taken at an NRA meeting last week. Trump is bragging about how he did nothing to stop gun violence in America. Essentially, he is bragging about how he allowed children to be murdered. Think about that. And the jackasses in that crowd, again, are cheering and clapping. I have so many thoughts. I mean, first of all, we had Obama for 8 years. Now we have more than 3 years of Biden. Not once has anyone proposed legislation to take away everyone's guns. And I say that as a gun owner. This scare tactic is just so 1990s. You know, but apparently there are still brain dead, uninformed idiots who believe it. On a lighter note, can we all talk about this new bronzer that Trump has going on? Really? What is this color? I would like to know. It's like Muddy River number 02. Or like hint of shit stain. I don't know. I don't know what look he's going for. But, you know, maybe he got tired of people saying he was orange, calling him the king of the Oompa Loompas. I don't know. But it's not a good look. Someone needs to warn him. He looks like those statues. He looks like those bronze statues. That's not a real thing. That's not a real color. Human beings are not that color, Donald Trump. Anyway, I will let you all know when and if I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it, become a subscriber if you have not, become a donor if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.